I used to struggle with the story in the Bible of God asking Abraham to sacrifice his son. Although I knew the ending, spoiler alert, God doesn't actually allow Abraham to kill his son, there was always something about this whole episode that felt cruel. I used to read this story as if God was giving us a knowing wink, but when I put myself in Abraham's position, who was the only person in this story who didn't know the outcome, it becomes far more disturbing. I mean, the poor guy had to travel for 3 days with his son into a wilderness, thinking at the end of this walk was an act of murder. It feels like psychological torture, just so God can test a man's faith in him. For years, I struggled with this until one day, when I was dealing with this story in my book, Finding God in the Bible, I clearly heard the Lord ask me, "What is your problem?" I was kind of shocked because I always felt it was a legitimate question. But then he explained, "It's nothing more than I asked of myself, and I actually went through with it." Abraham's test was not simply to show God his level of faith, but I think it was also to show Abraham, and all of us really, the kind of stuff we're actually made of. But God will never ask you to do something that he wasn't willing to do himself. God had to walk with his son for 30 years, knowing how it was all going to end. And Scripture tells us that it pleased the Father to crush the Son. Was that because God is a sadistic deity bent on bloodlust? No. It pleased him to actually go through with it because that was the only way he could get you back. He crushed his own son to get you, his son, you, his daughter, back. Don't let the sacrifice be in vain.